If you're looking for a babysitter, Mark Hudson's your man. It's not that he's offering his own time to take care of your little one. Instead, he's developed an online platform called Caresies, which will connect you with qualified and vetted childcare providers from all around the country. Mark joins me now. Hi, Mark.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Caresies, I love the name. Tell me exactly what it is.
Sweet. So Caresies is an online platform. It's an online marketplace, and we connect parents with caregivers. So parents with nannies, parents with babysitters, and parents with childcare workers. So the platform's developed not to find you the nanny specifically, but to give you all the tools to be able to go out and do it. So our platform provides you all the tools as a parent to be able to hire a perfect carer. So vetting, payments, and reviews and everything like that. Okay. So it's an online marketplace for parents and carers.
Yeah. And so it includes the payments as well. I mean, what are some of the challenges around setting up a platform like this that sort of end to end?
Yeah, so so there's a lot. There's one thing I've learned. So there's one thing, like it's building the website, it's building all the integrations that go with it. And it goes beyond being just a website, I suppose. We've built the payment functionality that goes underneath it. So we've integrated with Stripe for paying short-term workers, and we've integrated with Pay the Nanny for long-term workers. But then we've also added additional security features. So we're with the ID verifications, which goes beyond just being a static website. So there's a lot of kind of complications that we've had to develop and add into the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me how you got to this point. And you mentioned Pay the Nanny there, which I know is another one of your businesses. But perhaps if we can go back to how you started your career and some of the other businesses you've run.
Yeah, so it's pretty different, I suppose. So I'm an accountant by trade. I started working within a Big Four accounting firm in Wellington as a graduate, but I've always wanted to own my own business, I suppose, and I guess that entrepreneurial spirit, I suppose. So after kind of a few years as an accountant, I launched a darts tournament. So that's darts, not dance, like a jazz tournament, darts with the sticks into a board.
Oh, wow.
And ran a national series across the country. So we were the first live televised event for darts in New Zealand, and grew that from a small kind of pub tournament with about 250 people into a national series. And the darts was great, and I did that for a couple of years, but it's also, it needs a lot of money to keep it running. So we weren't lucky enough to break even, but I've always had that kind of desire to go out and do something myself. So about 5 years ago, we started a business called Pay the Nanny, and when we had a customer come to us and ask, I've hired a nanny, how do I process the payroll for them? And we looked around, and as an accountant, I didn't want to be doing just one nanny, but looked around and found there was a bit of a clear niche within the market. So we've developed Pay the Nanny, and after about 5 years, it's kind of now how do we keep that growing? And so Caresies is the next natural step in that, and we can use the functionality and the security and the trust that Pay the Nanny has built, and help families be able to actually find the nanny rather than just pay them. Yeah,
fantastic. So Pay the Nanny, what kind of market have you found there for that kind of, I suppose it's a relatively niche market, is it?
Yes, definitely very niche, but it's proven me wrong, very much so. So when I first started, I thought it would be a bit of side income, process the payroll for 10 customers or something like that and make a few extra dollars that I can have on the weekend. But it's very clear there's a niche and there's a gap for it. And so we've now got Pay the Nanny in New Zealand, and we've got Pay the Nanny in Australia. About 2 years ago, we built a software platform, so it means we can streamline all, the processes that come with the payroll, and we can stream that from start to finish. But we can also provide, a great thing that people need, which is the customer service, the HR function, the employment support. And so we've grown it now from New Zealand and Australia, and we would have, I think maybe 500 active contracts, so about 1,000 users that are using it at any time. And it's a niche that I didn't think was there when I first started out, but I found that it's pretty clearly a niche.
And in terms of competition, you do have some big global or international players?
Certainly for Caresies,
yeah.
Care.com would be the biggest player, I suppose, out of the USA, and I'm not too sure how big they are in New Zealand. I know they've got a presence, but kind of we haven't seen it, I suppose, with too much. And anecdotally, there's a couple of other kind of competitors, I suppose, as well as agencies and word of mouth, and people still need nannies, I suppose, but there's not too many locally owned platforms, I guess, that are based straight out of New Zealand.
Sure.
So we'd be the only ones for that, yeah.
Okay. And you feel like there's demand for a local platform, one that really speaks to the local market?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Because it's a question I suppose we've had through Pay the Nanny all the time is, you know, can you find us a nanny as well? And we sort of say no, because Pay the Nanny, it will remain as a very neutral agency, I suppose, because we process payroll, but we don't find a nanny. We want to be like a central marketplace for childcare in New Zealand. So that means working with parents, that means working with agencies, that means working with local businesses. So it's neither, you know, if you want to still use an agency, and I think definitely you should, we want to partner with the whole industry and just be a central marketplace so all those carers are in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so how have you financed your progress till now? I mean, through Pay the Nanny and Caresies?
Yes, so Pay the Nanny, I guess it's all funded by itself. I guess it's bootstrapped from day one. And we're lucky that it's a pretty strong business and it's now got to a position where it can generate a pretty decent profit each month. And we're now we can kind of use those profits to underwrite the cost of Caresies. I've partnered with a great developer who's based, who's also previously done some stuff in New Zealand. He's now a business partner for Caresies. And so we're lucky that he's, for a lot of the software development, has put his own time into it, his own sweat equity into actually developing the platform. But then on a month-to-month basis, we can use, across the two businesses, we are breaking even basically. But like everyone, we always need more money, I suppose, but enough to kind of get things off the ground.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what are you, obviously you're sort of launching this and promoting it now. What are the next steps in the Caresies journey?
Yeah, so we've built a great platform that works. Like I sort of talked about before, it's got payments, vetting, a lot of additional features that don't exist in the market. We've built up a solid user base of around 1,000 people. We want to get to about 10,000 by the end of the year, because I think that's a nice number to make it a really active and liquid marketplace for something like this. But beyond that, I guess, it sounds cliche, but the sky's the limit. I think the platform we've built lends itself to other areas, other different verticals. So at the moment, we're focusing just on childcare, but there's no reason why it can't go to in-home care for disability workers or, local, the early education sector, as well as kind of, housekeeping and things like that too. So with the platform and the functionality we've built, we can do a lot more, and we can go into a lot more different verticals within that kind of in-home care space.
Mm-hmm. How does the vetting work? Because I imagine that involves, third-party authentication and things like that. If you're talking to the police and those kind of things.
Yes, yeah. So I think the main point about the whole process is that a parent is in control. So from start to finish, the parent remains in control. So we help facilitate that process. We provide the tools to be able to make an easy decision for the parent. So we can complete a vetting check with the police. So we submit a vetting request to the police. We do an ID verification, so who they say they are. We also check their right to work and provide references and things like that. But the parents still remain in control. So we provide an easy way for the parents to get all that information and provide the easy way for the parents to select candidates, review them and check all their vetting requirements. But the main thing is that a parent is still in control. So you still have, you still get the chance to interview them, make sure they're the right fit for your family. Our platform just makes it really easy to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. In terms of the pricing metric or the pricing mechanism, how do people get charged for it? How do you make money?
Yeah, so we need to. So at the moment we have two types of things. So you can either book a one-off childcare or you can hire a long-term nanny. So if you're booking a one-off childcare, that's your traditional babysitters for 4 hours or maybe for a week if you're going away. We charge a simple kind of platform fee, which is a percentage based on the booking. So at the moment it's 10%, so you pay 10% of whatever the total cost is. If you're hiring a long-term nanny, we charge a listing fee, so you pay $50 to post a job, or you can use the partner payroll service basically for free. And obviously there's a fee to use the partner service. So we're not a subscription service, which I think is one of the biggest differences to us. And like if you look at some of the competitors that are overseas based, they are all subscription services, which you might only need something for 1 month. And that's something we've been kind of really keen to do, is not be a subscription service. So you'll pay as you go. So you can, it's risk free to jump onto the platform, it's risk free to use it, and you're only going to get charged, I guess, when you need to hire someone or you need to book something.
Yeah. Great. Well, best of luck for the future, and thanks for joining me.
Yeah, sweet. Thanks very much for having me.
For more content just like this and all the latest business and political news, head over to mbr.co.nz.